You should get a notification too. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's version of the GAML Tech Tip. Today, as you probably saw from the title, we're looking at how to identify your machine. We get several calls here in tech support of people that are either looking to buy a used machine and they're not exactly sure what it is they're getting, or they have a machine and they're just they know they bought it a long time ago and they don't really know exactly what the model is called or what the proper name for it is. So we're going to kind of go through and clear up some of that for you guys. So I want to start with talking about machine size. One of the things that is not necessarily known all the time is what size machine do you have? And by that, we're talking about the throat depth. So you can see here we've got the machine sizes that we currently offer. We've got the 18 here in the front. That's our smallest offering as far as our long arm machines go. Next up, we've got the 22, and then we have the 26, and we have the 30. Number of years ago, they used to have names for the machine sizes. We don't use those names anymore, but a lot of people still refer to them by their size name. So that would be the 18 used to be what we call the Premier. 22 didn't have a name because it wasn't offered at that time. The 26 was the Classic, and we know that there are lots of Classics out there. And then you have the 30, which is the Optimum. And then for a time, we also offered a 36-inch machine, and that was called a Supreme. So if you have a machine that's got one of those names, Supreme, Optimum, Classic, or Premier, that refers to the size of the machine. Something that I want to mention that we do not want to do to identify our machine is to look at this information right here. So a lot of times we'll get people that'll call or they'll send us an email or jump on chat and they will say, I've got a GAML that I just bought used and here's the model number. And what they give us is this number right here that they see on the motor. Sometimes we also get this manufacturing date and this serial number sent to us. Those numbers right there only apply to this motor. So those are not the model number, manufacturing date, or serial number of the machine itself. These are just for the motor. And we'll talk a little bit later about how to actually find the serial number of the machine and where that's at and what that information means. Okay, next up, let me clear that real quick. There we go. So let's talk about the machines that Camel currently offers, that being the Vision, the Elevate, and the Statler. And then in a little while, we'll get into machines that we used to offer and help you identify those. So the Vision is easily identifiable by the tablet. All the Visions will look the same, except for, of course, the machine size. But the easiest way to identify it is by the tablet. And give you a little look here at, this is the power switches that are on the top part of the machine for the Vision. So if you look at that, that's what the Vision power supply box will look like. Another way to kind of check is the encoders, and this is on the side of the machine. So, and this is on a breeze track system. So you see you have an encoder that rests near the side of the machine and lays in that groove on the cross track that the machine sits on. And then it will also have a cross track on the back that's underneath, sorry, an encoder on the back that's underneath the cross track, and it rides on the side rail here of your table. So all of our Vision 2 machines are set up like that with the encoders. Okay, So this next one could be a little bit confusing because I just said that the Visions have a tablet. That is also true of the Elevate system. So this could easily be confused to be a Vision 2 machine because it has a tablet. The Elevate has a tablet as well for its user interface. But of course, your Elevate is going to have your controller. That's going to be your motion control. And this is a black box that will actually be assembled and placed underneath the table in a bracket. So you have the controller box. There's another view of one of the sides of the controller box. And then, of course, you'd have your belts and other brackets that are on the table that give it the automated features. Next up, we got Statlers. So you can see we've got the 22, 26, and 30-inch. We don't offer an 18-inch Statler. And you'll notice there's no tablet on any of these because the Statler, of course, uses a computer system. So on your table, you'd have a mounted monitor and computer. And of course, you've got the big black box in the back. That's your controller. Looking in a little bit closer here, you'll see the Statlers will have a keypad here on the front. And then as well in the back, they have that keypad back there too. And if you notice on the top of the machine, there's not a on-off switch. There's not a power supply up there. There's only the control and the plug for the laser light because you've actually got your separate red and green switches for the Statlers. So let's go back to some machines that we don't offer anymore, but there are still a lot of out there that people frequently buy used. I mentioned earlier that we currently offer the Vision, and that's actually the Vision 2. The previous version was the Vision or the Vision 1, and it had a module-based interface. So right up here up front, it has this module that rests on a dock, and there's a straight-on shot of that module. The module was removable and could be placed on the back of the machine if you were using the machine from the back. And you can see up top, we have that dock there for the module. That's the main thing that distinguishes a Vision 1 from a Vision 2 is instead of a tablet like the Vision 2, a Vision 1 actually has the module and the docks. And we're going to move back in time a little bit more and talk about the Plus machine. So the Plus machine is called a Plus because it was the machine that added stitch regulation. On the front, you'll have an LED display with the 6 white buttons. That's the most easily identifiable thing for a Plus. And if we look at, there's a little bit up close view of the Plus LED display. And here's a look at the power switches for the Plus. They should all be very similar to this with red on-off buttons. And the encoders for the Plus were a little bit different. This is the side view where the encoder is on the side of the machine. And then the one that's at the back of the machine is still under the cross track like the Vision, but the encoder actually rests and rides in between the wheels of the back of the cross track, as opposed to the Vision where the encoder was a little bit further back and rides on the track. And that's also with the what we call our old style wheels, not the Breeze system. Okay, go back a little bit older and we've got the Minus machine. And this machine was actually named retroactively. It wasn't called a Minus when it came out, but that's what we refer to it now because these machines do not have stitch regulation. So Plus has stitch regulation, a Minus does not. Easy way to identify these, you don't have any kind of displays or tablets or anything like that. You have basically at the front, you have a speed control. And there's a little bit better shot of what that speed control looks like. Some of them had your horizontal and vertical channel lock buttons. And some of them actually had the speed control on the top of the machine. So again, if you have a Minus machine, no stitch regulation and speed control only. Next item is the Charm. For a limited time, Gamma offered a sit-down machine, and it came on a table that looked just like this one here. And so the two main identifying keys here are this kind of table that allows you to sit down at the machine, and then it had a tablet interface as well. All right, going back even further, we've got what we refer to as the DC-1. You see the handles look a little bit different. They're more of a plastic handle than the foam grips that we currently offer, and had the speed control that was on the side of the upper side of the machine right here. And then prior to that, we had what we refer to as the green machine. Most of those had some type of speed control on the top toward the rear. And of course, the color of the machine is a lovely shade of green. So the DC-1 and the green machine both are getting increasingly difficult to provide technical support for, mainly because of at times there are pieces and parts here and there that we just don't have anymore. So not that they can't be fixed or worked on, but it is becoming more and more difficult as time goes on. And that's a look at the speed control on the green machine. Next up, we have what was referred to as the Homecraft. For a period of time, a number of years ago, Gamel sold what was called a Homecraft. In these machines, we really don't have any manuals on. We don't have a lot of resources for. Occasionally, people can find in other places a replacement motor, the belts. Some things can still be replaced, but like the others, it's pretty difficult to get the things you need, at least from Gamel. So there was a variety of these. Some of them looked a little different than the others. This is just an example of one. Here's another version of the Homecraft machine. You can see this is kind of the other side of that last picture where the motor is mounted on the side of the machine. And there's one that's even a little bit older Homecraft machine. Okay, let's talk about serial numbers. The serial numbers don't necessarily help identify what kind of machine you have. What they can provide basically is information on when the machine was manufactured. So we can usually pinpoint the year and the month that the machine was manufactured. And so sometimes people need to know that information if they're trying to sell one or they're looking at buying a used one. They kind of want to get an idea of how old it might be. So you're more than welcome, to call us up or shoot us an email and give us a serial number, and we can pretty much provide you the year and month of manufacture, but we can't identify what machine it is as far as whether it's a plus or a minus or a Statler or whatever. We would need a little bit more information about the actual function of the machine, whether it has a tablet or a module, to help you identify what kind of machine it is. But if you're looking to find your serial number, on all our current machines, on the Statler, there will be a sticker on the back plate, and it'll have the serial number underneath the barcode. If for some reason the sticker is not there, you can look underneath. So this view is the very back of the machine. So it's this back side of the machine, but we're looking underneath the bottom of the machine. And you'll see this white plug, and stamped into this ring is the serial number. So that's one place that you will always find the serial number, will be underneath, stamped into the machine. And then the Vision machines or the Elevates, on the back box at the rear of the machine, you'll have a sticker as well. Again, serial number will be underneath the barcode there. And again, if you look underneath the machine, you can see it's stamped into the machine itself. So that's our overview of how to identify your machine. Hopefully that helped and maybe answer some questions for some people. If you are looking to buy a machine and you're just not sure what it is or what all entails or what features it should have, Again, you can give us a call at tech support here at Gamel. You can jump on the gamel.com and go to the chat feature. You can ask those questions and we'll be happy to assist you in identifying a machine, whether you're looking to buy one or you own one and you're just not exactly sure what you have and what it's called. Get a hold of us and we will help you out. So hopefully that was some useful information for you guys. And until next time, everybody stay safe and happy quilting.